Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about a few important things that you should know before you buy yourself that NA Mazda Miata. The Miata is a very reliable car, and as mentioned in my most reliable cars that can reach 300,000 miles video, the Miata has been recorded to surpass the 400,000 mile mark if properly maintained. But with any typical older car, things can break, and some things should be watched out for because they can lead to huge issues. With that said, I'll be rating each repair 1 out of 5, with 1 being easy to repair even a novice with simple tools can do, and 5 being the hardest that requires you to have a lot of experience with cars before tackling the issue, or you may need a professional to get the job done. So, here are some common issues on the Mazda Miata from 1989 through 1997. Let's get started. Clogged drain holes where the soft top meets the car. The Miata has a drainage system that lines where the soft top and the car itself meets. The water then gets transferred into the car and through the 2 drain holes that can get filled with debris and clog up, which is pretty common. Therefore, maintenance is a crucial part during the ownership of your cars. The water can then sit and rust the holes from inside out. This can cause more rust in the rear quarter panels, and you may see bubbling paint. This job gets a 1 out of 5 if the hole is not rusted yet. However, if there is rust, you will be looking at a 5 out of 5 difficulty on replacing the panel because it requires welding and repainting. Valve cover gaskets tend to leak and fail prematurely. Not really a hard thing to repair. New gaskets cost about $30 and takes about 30 minutes to replace. The difficult level on this is a 1 out of 5, so even a novice can do this with simple set of tools. Since the car is so light, the alignment must be well adjusted, or the car will shake at higher speeds. This just requires you to take it to a local tire shop and get a fancy alignment. Factory spark plug wires go out about every 30,000 miles. If you're getting misfire, this is most likely the reason. They are not expensive to replace, and going aftermarket may be a good idea. This can be done while you're replacing the valve cover gasket, and similarly, I would give this a 1 out of 5. It is an easy job to do and only takes a few minutes. The Mazda Miata models with a short nose crank can result in you needing to replace the engine due to the key wearing away the keyway slot in the crankshaft nose. This is most likely due to the crank not being torqued correctly or the car being pushed to its limits way too much. There are not many symptoms to this, and it's difficult to diagnose. Once it meets complete failure, the engine is toast. If your Miata is older than 1991 and the VIN is less than 209446, then you might have the short nose crank, or you could simply look at the crank and tell the difference. The short nose crank has 4 slots and the long nose crank has 8 slots. If you have a short nose and your car is sluggish under 4,000 RPM, you may need a new engine to resolve that issue. This is a 5 out of 5 job. The plastic window in the soft top tends to crack and become a bit blurry, and replacing the plastic window can be a bit difficult because it requires a bit of sewing, and the part itself can also be a bit pricey. This is a 3 out of 5 on my difficulty rating only because it requires a special skill. However, I believe even a novice and enough YouTube videos can get the job done. Airbag light illuminating on the dash due to a failed airbag control module. This sits underneath the dash, and I have found prices for the module at around $50. If you do the job correctly, then it requires you to take apart some of the dash. However, you can do the easy route and unplug the module and attach a new module in a new location. So, if the job is done by the books, it's at least a 2 out of 5 job due to labor and special tools. If not, it's a 1 out of 5 job. It's really up to you. I will take the shortcut because there are no cons to it. Shocks and suspension bushings fail due to age, and with new ones, it will allow the car to drive much nicer and safer. If you shake the car and it shakes a lot, then the shocks are out. This would be a 3 out of 5 difficulty because you must jack up the car, place it on jack stands, and replace the shocks. This may require a bit more heavy-duty tools to remove the old bolts holding the shocks into place. Lifters ticking is a common noise in the engine, but that's not really a large issue. The engine will still perform just fine. Overall, the Mazda Miata, if you opt in for one after 1991, you will be looking at a very reliable car with minimal issues to think about. The Miata is an amazing roadster, modeled after the British roadsters, and can really be a car to pass down generations. If you are prepared to do the simple jobs and keep up with maintenance, the Miata is a great choice. But that's all for today. If you enjoyed this and it helped you out, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and press that notification bell to keep up to date with all my future content. This is Chris AutoMotivate. Always appreciate one another. I'll see you next time.